Hello, everybody. It's 18:30 Eastern Standard Time. Do you know where your science fiction fans are? They're all right here on Syntext Live. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing a whole lot better than me because I've been running around like a jackass all day. That what you see isn't just from the sun. Yes, I am that red. I've been out in the sun all day running around like a jackass. So didn't even get everything done, but it is what it is. So to get started, hey, pop a top and let's get started. Before we go any further, though, here's to all the fans. Thank you for being here tonight. And all those who end up watching later. Unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of time. I actually ran in so I could get ready for this. Like I said, I've been on the word go since I woke up this morning. Had to help out my dad and everything. So I just want to go over that and say, unfortunately, there's nothing dropping tonight because I have not had a chance to work on anything. I should say, have a chance to finish it. Okay. It still needs the details put in, and it is the next one of the last sections of Culture Shock. And it might just be a culture shock for more than just one species. Hint, hint. So also, I will say, for those who did ask, yes, it was a long weekend, and I had to take my nephew all the way about 4 states. Which way is east? That way. And it was not a fun road trip. I'm going to tell you that much. It's a long way when you're driving. Those of you who drive for a living, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, you know, it can just drain the hell out of you. So thankfully I did get some work done when I was there, but it's kind of hard to get in my zone. Okay. If you're one of those folks who has to get in the zone, you know, being in a certain spot to write, to create, I know certain people who draw, it's the same way. I'm not going to hold anything against you. I never will, because I'm kind of the same thing. I got to get things right for me. So, and I hope it's the same for you. Now, if you have any questions, comments, complaints, type it into the chat box and I will get to it as soon as possible. Tonight's topic is something that was actually brought up in the comment section over the week, which is some people thought I might be going political, especially when I did different types of humans. That one came to pass, folks, for one simple reason. Is the fact that I noticed a lot of things I was doing was Western based. And I don't want to say that we're the only ones that would be out there facing everyone down, because that's bullshit. I've worked with the Brits. I've worked with Polish a lot, actually. I've even worked with the French, surprisingly. You know, I've worked all around there. I've jumped with Italians. Of course, that was a training mission. I have my foreign jump wings. Yes, I do have my Italian jump wings. One of these days, I might whip them out and show you. That sounds wrong, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm all about the slang to make sure I can juice things up. And by all means, let me know if I overdo it, especially in the story, so I can adjust fire. Because it's all up to you guys. And I am here only because of you, the fans. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I will say this. On a few of the other channels, I've noticed a common theme. They're ripping me off, those bastards. I swear, they watched or they listened to Ambush Predators and they threw that into their AI algorithm and they pumped out something that is not even close to good enough. Because it is crazy how many of them were, oh, we rescued this alien princess and suddenly she fell in love with humans. Doesn't always happen. Does it happen? I'm sure it will. However, is that going to be a commonplace thing? Not so much. And the thing is, they're expecting a lot of views on that, and unfortunately, it's turning into romantic comedy. What's the term for it? I mean, there's a time for romance, there's a time for comedy, but it's just like 5 or 6 days in a row. That's bullshit. So it is what it is. But yeah, I try to stay away from the woke guys, and I try to stay out of politics. I might skirt the edge, okay? But I'm just gonna. I don't want to dive into that hole. There's only certain holes I want to dive into, and that's not one I want to go spelunking in. Yes, I know. I just kind of twisted that around, and that was for fun, guys. So, you guys know, and for those who are new, you will not find woke anything here. Okay, even when we did My New Life Out in the Stars, as soon as the alien realized he had bought a slave human male and not a slave human female, he freaked out because he was all interested in his feathery behind getting some schnook schnook with an ape, I guess. And then I'm sitting there going, honestly, I was writing it trying to stifle my vomit. Like, oh God, this is going to be hilarious, but God, it's hard to write. It is what it is, folks. So if you are going to do that in any of your writing, then I strongly, strongly suggest that you end up focusing primarily on tightening your shot group and keeping it between those two. Don't touch on anything culture-wise. Just have the reactions and let the reactions of those two characters play it out. And sometimes less is more. Okay? Sometimes less is more. But I don't do the woke stuff, guys, and you will not see all that sort of shit. If you see a rainbow, it means somebody just launched a missile into the ocean, and there's a bunch of mist spraying out there, and it's refracting the sunlight. That's the only time you're going to see a rainbow here. So I might just shoo off a couple of the people who enjoy my channel by saying that, but I don't want to go woke and go broke, folks. Enough of that's happening already. I mean, look what's happening with Warhammer. Holy crap. I know that story is derivative as all hell. I forget who it was. It might have been Rageaholic did a great layout on that, on how it basically rips off Dune. However, it's something people enjoyed as it was. Don't screw with what people enjoy as it is, because if you don't, you end up with Star Wars. And then what the fuck? What the fuck over? I mean, just you take something that people love and you twist it around into something that people despise. Who are you, the freaking devil? Because that's exactly what she does. So, anyways. Sorry, a little thirsty. Like I said, I've been out in the sun all day. I had like 3 or 4 glasses of water before I even came on, and it's crazy. All right. Unfortunately, I did not have a chance to go through all the comment section. I will do that for next week to make sure I get all the stuff, because honestly, that was my notes for today. It's going to be really quick. Everything else is going to be from the comment section. So if you have anything to ask, anything to add to the conversation, by all means, place it in the comment section and we will get to it. Right now, I want to say something because I saw this come up. It is apparently, War Sniper says, it is Ava's birthday. Ava, I don't know if you're here yet, but happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to incoming. Oh, that was Ava coming in on her pod. Yeah, she just got launched. Who did it land on? Did it land on you, War Sniper? We're having some good time, Ava. Happy birthday to you. One more lap around the sun. Speaking of which, make sure if you're going through your actual hard science fiction, when they say go through a rotation, make sure you specify is if a planetary rotation or a solar rotation. A planetary rotation is 1 day of that particular planet. If you're speaking about a alien planet, you need to specify that, because you can't say 24 hours. There's no reason to assume that they would have 24-hour rotations. So up here, let's see. Demon says, just woke up. All good, man. I stay busy as much as I can. I'm so busy that the one game I want to play, I can't play it. It's just it irritating the hell out of me. Ernest is checking in. Warren's here. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, go ahead. Say something to her on Discord. Tell her that we all wish her happy birthday. Oh, geez. Fabian says, I was on up to 15-hour days. Was ugh. 15-hour days at work. Those suck. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, quite literally, and I'm done with that. Thank God. Well, maybe not, because once actually this is over, I'm going to be going back to, where's my notes? Working on the story, the chapter I'm going through it. Like I said, it's just the finer details and Sometimes my brain just burns out, but hey, it is what it is. Okay. Fabian says he's planting spuds. Hold on. Wait a minute. Everybody halt. Pull the brake. We got SS Demon dropped in a $5 super chat. And he says, if you went woke, I wouldn't be here. They have movies, TVs, comics, dubbed anime. Oh, man, that does suck. And most video games. I can't lose you, too. We all appreciate you sitting. Well, I appreciate you all being here. That's for damn sure. And thank you for the $5. I do appreciate that, Demon. Let me write down so you get your shout out. And hopefully, Demon, you got when I gave you last shout out, you actually saw it. And I'm hoping you got a kick out of what I used that time. I try not to use the same thing twice, guys. I do my best not to. For the simple fact is, you go through the whole thing, you might as well get some sort of treat from it. Yeah, you'll notice I use a lot of the same ones for myself. It rotates through about 8 or 9 of them, just because my old channel that I used to do was called The Crazy Uncle, and it was an anti-woke survivalist channel, actually part prepper and stuff like that. That being said, I just don't have the time to work on it. To make a 20-minute video with all the different images and stuff like that with my level of expertise would take me at least 5 or 6 hours just in editing alone. Hold on. Stop. Hold on. We got the sir. Sir. Thank you, sir, for $10 in the super sticker this time. Very much appreciated. And I'm guessing the sir here is liking when I send him his super mega thanks. And FYI there, sir, you want to let me know if you're from a certain country. I might be able to, put the thank you in more your context. If it doesn't matter to you, don't even punch it in, and I'll just find something else. But yeah, if you want anything particular, guys, when you get your shout out, you need to let me know, or else I'm just gonna wing it. Okay, and I'm sure some of you would enjoy that. So thank you again, sir and Demon. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. And to let you guys know, don't forget that next week is Memorial Day. And what happens on Wednesday after Memorial Day? That's the t-shirt giveaway. It's not this week. Don't send me any emails yet. I will put everything in the comments section. I will send everything. I'll have it in the chat box and everything like that for you guys to actually go in and put in your size, and I will send you. This money is actually going to be for sending everybody their shirts. Okay, because some of you guys are international, and just sending you 1 or 2 shirts is still going to be like $20. So I'm not. If you can't send me anything, no hair off my ass, guys. I still appreciate you as long as you're watching, as long as you're commenting, giving me the thumbs up on the videos when you watch them. That's solid. That's all I ask. Well, that, and if you could share, it is kind of one of those things about how do I put this? Not everybody listens to the same thing that we do. So, okay. Where was I? So I don't miss anybody here. Let's see. Fabian says he was planting spuds. I was actually in the garden today too, about maybe 45 minutes ago to an hour. And I was actually setting down the plastic so I don't have so many weeds. And it takes a long time. If anybody's actually done that, it takes a long time, because you got 2 choices. You can either bury the sides or while you're laying it out, or you can try and stake it down. And stake it down, it may be quicker, but it doesn't hold for shit. I don't know about you, Fabian, but I'm doing a tower this time, because last time I had stuff in the ground, the varmints came in and ate everything. You're talking like 2 dozen potato plants. They ate everything out of it. I was like, you little varminty bastards. So where were we? We got a Z. So wow, I can't even pronounce that. 1. You got 1 because I can't. Hey there. I really should be sleeping, but here to say, still watching and loving your work. Have a nice day and good night to all. Well, Z1, I will see you on the next video. And I appreciate you coming in, even just to say hi and hitting the like button and all that other fun stuff. Fabian asked if did I get a haircut? No, I'm shoving it back actually because it's getting really long. I went to go get a haircut today and the barber closed early. And you can see it now. Just I'm going. I get it the right way and I go full Goku. As how you ladies have the long hair and doesn't drive you nuts sometimes drives me crazy or just surprises me. Warren says hearing a hum. Anybody else hearing a hum from it? Because everything's pretty quiet. Every once in a while, the fan turns on the computer. And actually, when I'm recording, I make it a point to stop during that, specifically so it doesn't end up in the background with you guys. It's just one of those things, and especially now that it's summer, the thing's going to kick on even worse. Techaman Rage says nuclear rainbows for the win. Why not? You just listen to the previous one I sent, what they did with the water. Sometimes you just gotta let Mother Nature do what she does. If you link Mother Nature, Murphy, and Karma, it's just like the beginnings of the Justice League. You got the big three, and all three of them are gonna come in and right upside you. Let's see. Worst never saying. Yeah, she had her stuff. Bite Me. Nice one. Bite Me 1167 says, loving the stories you've been posting lately, especially the Total War ones. Yeah, it's a bit of a culture shock. The whole idea was, again, it was actually something you guys brought up, was the fact that the different cultures might not jive. And I just wanted to show that. And pretty soon you're going to see the duality of man. Oh, did I say too much? But yeah, that on that one in particular there, Bite Me, it was one of the reasons why it got so in depth is actually because of you guys. Again, I get better because of you guys, and I very much appreciate it. But one of the major things on that was somebody said that my newer stuff didn't have as much passion as the older stuff. And I realized I wasn't putting all the descriptive parts in it that you guys wanted. And so that's what I did. And it enhanced the story. It just, it sums up, excuse me, hold on. It sometimes just takes up extra space. That's all. Okay, so War Sniper passed the message. I hope she appreciates it. Let's see. Fabian says, I'm not happy with the Gore-Tex and Felix. Oh, and Warhammer. Okay. Now, I said before, I'm not a huge Warhammer fan. I just know what comes across the news. I do know that they've really, 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 really are trying to do the one thing you don't want to do, which is force new folks to be customers in by ostracizing your fan base. It's like I said with the woke thing. I don't do that because my fan base, none of you guys are. You like the realism. My shit is hard sci-fi. Boom, done. Well, at least the majority of it. Yes, I will be doing some of the cryptid stuff later. And it's not just cryptids, by the way. So, yeah, it made big news because I didn't know anything about this. I didn't know the Emperor's, basically his Secret Service, was there, was strictly all guys for a long time. I really had no idea about that. And then they're like, oh no, but they've had women all the time. What the fuck? Well, that just kind of takes away from the Sisters of Battle now, doesn't it? 'Cause yes, I do know about them. And my one Warhammer series is based off of them. Because I noticed throughout all their lore, they treat their female space marines, basically, the exact same way and deny them part of who they are. And you can't really do that with it. Now, with us guys, it's bad enough, but with women, that's far worse. You get a whole lot worse that comes off of that. And they're still human, no matter how much they are superhuman. That was the whole premise of that story, but it kind of how do I put it in nice terms? It crashed and burned like somebody shot the wings off, the tail off, and set it on fire. Okay. Sir says, I appreciate you. I am from Oregon. Oh, you're from Oregon? I'm sorry. Oh, man, you got to deal with all the stuff over there. Yeesh. You guys just made national news again, although it's almost strictly Portland that does that. So, yeah. Hey, I'm in a liberal hellscape too. So, you know, we can all we can do is hold our ground. That's all we got. Demon says he doesn't hear the hum. Ernest says no hummus here. Well, I hope not. I don't have any chips. War Sniper also saying he doesn't hear it. So what I'm guessing when you first came in, the fan was running. I know it's whenever I start this thing, it always starts up, and it's weird. It is very, very weird. Let's see. Leonid says, is that true that the Marines summon demonic spirits inside of their barracks? Are you talking Space Marines or the actual Marines? Because if you're talking about the actual Marines, last time I seen a Marine with a Ouija board, somebody was beating him over the head with it. Because a lot of guys don't play with it. I don't play with that shit. No, I that's like messing around with a nuclear reactor. You don't do that unless you know exactly what you're doing. And if you don't know exactly what you're doing, hands the fuck off. I actually was writing a story, and unfortunately, it didn't come out right. I didn't know if I was going to put cousin or niece or something. They were having a sleepover, and they actually snuck into a relative's house. So if you want to say sleepover or broke in, whichever way you want to do that, and they fucked around with a Ouija board, well, whoever owns the house found them, and they screwed up what they were doing, and all of a sudden the Ouija board became a portal. You know, you got hands reaching up trying to choke you as you're holding the board out, like, get this thing off of me, you know. But it didn't come out right. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, combat soldiers, we deal with enough of that shit. We do not need to screw with it anymore. It's just not done. SS Demon says, I've never been summoned to one. Oh, yeah, okay. I wonder, SS Demon, if you're going to come out like yourself or like your little avatar there. You know, that might freak you out worse than them. And that's actually, I will say this, I'm done for probably years writing any succubus stories because I was commissioned to write them before. And that's why there were so many at the beginning of the channel. They were already written down. And it's just people wouldn't pay me for them. They're like, oh, can you do it? I'm like, yeah, here's how much you got to pay me. Oh, we'll just send it to me. I'll pay you later. Bullshit. I don't play that game. I got taken one time and that's enough. You know, thankfully I only got taken for about $50. Let's see. Dustin D, what do you think of a bike under 500? Are we talking pedal or actually motorized? Because you're talking a good off-road bike for $500, that's not bad. If you're talking a motorized bike, I wonder if the motor actually works. If you're talking a bike like a moped or something, 500 is good. But I'd have to know what type of bike you're talking about, man. Demon says, Sisters of Battle and Sisters of Silence are some bad bitches. And you actually touched on something here I wanted to bring up. I unfortunately didn't have it in my notes. And this is when it comes to a lot of science fiction. Oh, hold on. Can't get into it right now because the sir has sent me another $10 in a super sticker. And it is very much appreciated, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And I'm going to put here, I already got your 10 on there. Let's see. Squared. That's how I'm not kidding. That's actually how I write it. So you're going to be getting a whole big thank you the next time I do a video. I do have another person that needs to be thanked. Let me, but he gets a small thank you. Whatever a locking is, he's got to get his thank you at the end of one of the videos because he sent me a little donation at the end of one of the videos. So again, I appreciate it, and I appreciate you, sir, and everybody else who's watching. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And again, everything is going to go back into the channel. What the hell was I talking about before? Okay. When it comes to different science fiction, had to get myself back on here. Some of the best ways to write it is to take from actual history. Okay. And I actually plan on making a side video where I actually talk about some of this stuff, the way science fiction works and when it does, because I looked into Battletech and suddenly it hit me like somebody had taken this and whacked me in the head with it. I still got the bump. I was looking at Anastasius Vogt, which is one of the greatest badasses in all of Battletech. When you actually look at it, even down to the eye patch, he is actually designed after the unkillable soldier of World War I. And I keep messing his name up, so if people want to put his name in the chat, go ahead. But he's no shit. His whole persona, everything is based off that one man. So that's what made it good. That's what made it work. And this is one of the things. If you're going to write, look at history for your inspiration. As you guys know, I like history. I did ones that was basically straight off the Midway, or I did one. Well, no, I didn't finish the one. I was making one based off the Battle of 73 Easting. I did one about the Taffy 3 over there facing down the Masashi and her battleship, or well, they were cruisers with her, but they faced a much smaller force and they got their ass handed to them. The Americans literally just said, "Oh, there's the enemy. Enemy, here's your ass." You know, it's just quick. But yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to bring up is if you can match it up to history, it makes sense because you don't have to embellish. You just have to basically follow the sequence of events because that's the way it's actually going to play out. And some of the best ones I've heard people make, the best ones I've read actually play out correctly. Like people are actually responding like they're supposed to. And one of the ones that you guys seem to like is when, especially when it's a long drawn out conflict, not only are humans getting better, but their allies are adapting. The enemy is adapting. Everybody's adapting over time. So that makes because that's what everyone's going to do. Everyone wants to survive. The difference is here on this spinning ball with us humans, we just adapt faster if we got to kill somebody. So it is what it is. Anyways, Demon said he's from Pennsylvania. I'm joking, Demon. Don't kill me on that. For those that don't know, that's when you get the bottom edge of Pennsylvania. They call it Pennsylvania. My father's from Pennsylvania, so yeah, I know about that. Sir says, I put it with its, okay. Dustin D says, no motor, so it's a pedal bike. If it's intact off-road, especially $500, you're actually getting a pretty good deal. Just make sure that take it to somebody who knows the maintenance and actually checks it. Unless you're one of those guys who rides all the time and knows exactly what you're looking at, it's just like buying a vehicle. Take it to a shop and have them look it over. Let's see. Leonid says, in real life, I suppose I watched some videos on YouTube about the boards. Yeah. See. Whoa. Okay. Sorry, this thing jumped on me. SS Demon says, laugh my butt off. That would scare the shit out of me the first time it happened. Then I do the standard man thing and adjust. Oh, boobies. Laugh my ass off. Okay. Somebody's watched a lot of anime where that's happened. It's like, oh, I'm in a girl's body now. I know. I got to lose some weight. Don't kill me on that. I mean, once you're done screaming, every guy would do that. You don't say you wouldn't. Every guy would. And for ladies out there, once you're done freaking out, you're gonna start feeling around too. So don't give me any bullshit on that. Let's see. Ernest says, how much for a custom story? Okay, I used to do this a lot. I don't have the actual sheet in front of me, I'll have to remember to grab that. Let's see, cost, custom story. All right, here's the way I used to actually do it. Now, again, I don't have the numbers right now, but the base story would actually cost you a certain amount. The main character, if it's a named main character and it's not just a group, that would actually add. Any other named characters would actually add. Now, it's not crazy. It's like, I think like $10 or $15 per named character. So if you only have 2 main characters and everything else is happening, it's not that much. Or no, one is 15, one's like 5. Anyways, I don't remember the stuff. But for each named character, again, it would add on. If they're a non-human character that I have to create the actual like backstory, like what type of creature or whatever, then it has an additional dollar amount. However, if say you want, I don't know, we were just talking about the Sisters of Battle here. Say you wanted that. Well, that's already preset lore. That's a very smaller price on that. But yeah, it really comes down to how many different characters, because the scenario can be pretty much anything you want. The scenario comes with the base story. If you're looking for additional chapters, that's a whole different ballgame. But yeah, I used to do custom all the time. Or I used to call it under contract. Okay. Erica says, I was at a sleepover. The girls got the board out. I walked out and I shit you not, I saw a 10-foot draconian before I knew the. So you saw a 10-foot lizard man before you knew what was going on. Did it just look at you? Hopefully it didn't sit there scare you by going, hiss, you know. I'm kidding. Hey, I've seen my fair share of freaky shit. So, you know, it's one of those things you just don't screw with unless you know what you're doing. War Sniper says, Ava squashed me yesterday at Helldivers too. Come on. She's like pinpoint accuracy coming down. She always makes sure you're never watching too. That's what everybody tells me. See. Damien Isaiah. What's up, Damien from the gym? Oh, yes. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while, man. I appreciate you coming in. This Damien here, he works at the gym I was going to. Unfortunately, I haven't been there in like 2, maybe 3 weeks. Again, my whole schedule is shot in the ass, and it is what it is. But, you know, good man. He's here. Cool to see you. I hope you're having fun there, Damien. Hopefully this helps you, you know, pass the time while everybody's sitting there groaning under the weights. Or get you past when I don't know who picks the music in that gym. Is the reason I bought earbuds specifically for that. But yeah, good to see you. Let's see. Demon says, wish I had more time to join you guys. The time change seemed to really screw up our game time. Yeah, that happens. I honestly, I just wish they'd adjust it half an hour and say no more daylight savings and call it good. But hey, it is what it is. Worst I've ever seen. Don't forget the B-17 grew the Eager Beavers. I did that story. I did that. For those that don't know, that was one of the actually it was the adversary side where they were the group of misfits, and they said, you know what, they're going to send us to die, so we're going to strap on every single weapon we can get. Automated freaking missile launchers, like rotating turrets and all this stuff, all this fun shit. And they're like, you know what? If we're going to die, it ain't going to be for lack of shooting back. Okay. Worst Never saying I miss it too. Yep. Apparently Ava doesn't miss if she wants to land on you. Isaac says, Adrian Carton what? Okay. I keep screwing up his name. That's why I don't say it. Duart. I've heard it pronounced different ways. And the dude he was a bad. How many times he got freaking shot? I mean, they took off part of his face and he just kept going. I'm like, that's a badass. That's also one scary motherfucker, I'll tell you that. Dustin D says, my dream bike are a GT bike hybrid, triple triangle, hardtail, hard from the fork. Okay, dude, I don't know much about the bikes on that one. I do. My sister rides. Okay, that's the only reason I know anything about bikes. That's why I know 500 for a really good, especially mountain bike, is a pretty decent deal. That being said, make sure the damn thing fits you. Take it out to the parking lot. Go do a couple of laps. Wherever this person is, make sure they know you're not stealing the fucking thing, and then actually make sure it's comfortable for you. And then make sure it's checked out. Again, unless you know what you're talking about. Okay, Demon says, I almost typed out Pennsylvania instead of Pennsylvania. Oh, you didn't think I'd know what you're talking about, huh? My dad's from a coal mining town over by Johnstown. For those who don't know, that actually inspired one of the stories, or part of the story. The Johnstown flood was a bunch of rich people built a dam, and when everybody said, hey, you need to do maintenance, they said, well, maintenance is expensive. We don't give a shit. So they let the dam go, and thousands of people died. And who got in trouble? Nobody, because they're rich and they got away with shit. But yeah. Ava's here. She has, I have arrived. She's arrived. So everybody look up, watch out. She's coming in. Demon said hello and happy birthday. And yep, everybody's saying hi. Ava's saying hi, happy birthday. Yep. Dustin D says, last time I had a bike from Walmart. Oh, there's your problem. I hated heavy and made the way too cheap, and part fell apart in 2 weeks. You bought from Walmart. What the hell were you expecting? Every single time I buy anything from Walmart, the only thing I had from Walmart that was even halfway decent was a desk calendar. And it was in the corner, a big stamp that said Staples. The problem is there was no Staples anywhere near me, and that's where I could go get it. I mean, seriously, you want food that's going to kill you, go to Walmart. You want devices that if you buy them, they're going to fall apart, you go to Walmart. If you buy anything for your vehicle in Walmart, expect it to fail. I know, because when Walmart opened around here, my brother got a new oil gauge. He hooked it up exactly the way it was shown. Guess what happened? He blew the fucking engine because all the oil just sprayed out on the road because the damn thing wouldn't hold. I'm like, oh, that's nice. So yeah, don't do Walmart, man. Go to an actual bike shop if you've got one. Let's see. Lena says, I'm not sure how believable it would be to have an elf character in a fantasy story that lives for hundreds of years and only visits her human friend once every half a century. How believable? That depends on how you set it up. Okay. Visiting half a century, if you're going by the standard human timeline, you would only visit one time and then they'd be, fart in the wind. However, if we are talking science fiction, you can easily use the CRISPR program. Again, hard science fiction. And the CRISPR program will make sure your telomeres don't fail. So in other words, you're going to look 20 years old. You're going to outlive an elf if the elf doesn't adjust themselves. That's the whole point. But yeah, if now, as far as character development on that, Leonid, if they're both living for hundreds of years and the elf character sees their human friend once every 500 years. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get back to you in a second, because the sir from Oregon is here, and he's not just squared on his $10 on his super sticker. He's cubed. So thank you again, sir. Thank you so much for helping out the channel and everybody else, because this is going to be not only is paid for the t-shirts, but we'll be paying for the shipment of the t-shirts, and the giveaway is next week. Do not email me yet with your address, It will be next week. Anything that is sent to me prior to next week's live stream will not be accepted. I don't do the oh shit. Oh, double barrel. He hit me with a double barrel. Holy crap. Another 10. Okay. He didn't just cube me. He quadded me right there. Holy shit. Okay. Again, thank you, sir. I appreciate it so much. Oh shit. 8. Oh god damn. Oh god, you're hitting me from all different directions. It's awesome. So I still gotta say a double thank you, sir. And thank you again for that. And Ava jumped in here with a $10 super chat. And let me, before I read it, let me write down here so I don't forget. You guys all know you get your call outs. Anybody who donates to the channel will get a call out, which will stay there as long as YouTube is a thing. And $10 New Zealand. And she says, here's a funny story for a laugh. I was playing Helldivers 2. Someone called in an orbital railgun strike, which targets the largest target in the area, and it pointed right at my chest. Ouch. At least for a second. Ouch until orbital railgun. You got atomized. Holy shit. Okay, and oh god, oh, here we go again. Here we go again. We got a $5 super sticker. Super sticker from Erica. I almost misspelled that. Holy crap. And hopefully, last time you sent them in there, Erica, I didn't mispronounce your name when I gave you your shout out. I'm pretty sure it's Gem, but I'm not completely sure. If I get it wrong, just, send me a message in the comment section or even here, and I'll make sure I say it right. So again, we got a double dose from the sir. We got another dose of this time funny stuff from Ava. And you know what? I'll bet you dollars to donuts, whoever hit you with that sucker was probably like, I can't do that twice. Especially if you're shooting from orbit. And then we got an additional heads up, and thank you to Ava, Erica, and the sir for supporting the channel. I got you written down here, so you will be getting your shout outs this week. And okay. Yeah, sometimes just weird stuff happens. And now with the orbital railgun strike, now I know the extra calculations are not in Helldivers, but here's the reason why I try to stay away from orbital bombardment in my stories, because I was actually corrected on this. I was thinking that in orbital bombardment, you're going to be able to be as accurate as, a bunch of M777s firing off, and those things are holy shit accurate artillery pieces. That is completely incorrect. The M777s are great, but there's so many factors for that thing coming down, especially if you're using solid ammo. Just picking up on the wind is going to alter it. And if it starts to tumble, it's not going to hit with enough force to really do all that much damage. It's still going to fuck someone's face in, but it is what it is. That's why I was saying, if they hit you, I guarantee they're like, oh my God, I did. How the hell did I got to be able to do that? I don't think I can do that twice. But yeah, even with energy weapons, I hesitate to use that now because, again, I was fixed on that. And apparently going through the ionosphere and the mesosphere and all the other spheres all the way down the atmosphere, there's so many things that can screw up an energy blast or even a beam that it's difficult at best. Now, if you got something strong enough to do exterminatus, then yeah, you could just crack the planet and call it good. Okay, before I get too far here, I had to jump here. So let me see where I was before. Dustin says, my dream gas bikes is Honda and Vespa 300. Yeah, I'd put a bazooka on it and call it good, Yeah, that was actually, I agree with the Chubby Sparky. That was a genius idea. And apparently Vespas are pretty reliable. I haven't heard anybody say anything bad about them except for, other bikers who think, oh, that's stupid. Well, you're getting 70 miles to the gallon and it's going from work to home. So it's not stupid. He also says a Honda Silverwing and Goldwing. Now, I'm not a huge bike guy. My brother used to ride. He doesn't anymore. He got married, and we all know what happens there. Erica is saying hi to Ava. We got Dustin D saying, at least Canadian Tire know how to assemble bike. So, okay. At least Canadian. Okay. I don't know about Canadian Tire. I'm not up to the Great White North much. Here's the sir. People out here are a bit weird, but I put up with it. But here's another thing. Okay, yep, you're just talking. You could actually put that in the actual super chat, But can you write a story about someone finds A10 warthogs, like old A10s? Old A10s. Okay. Finding old A10s. Yeah, I could do something like that. The thing is, that would be a very drawn out story as they try to figure out what is rotted off, depending on how old the things are and how well they're stored. However, I will say this, after just a few years of no maintenance, those seals go to shit very, very quickly. Oddly enough, they're not meant to be static for too long. But yeah, what's going to happen when they fire that gun for the first time? It's going to scare the piss out of them. That's for sure. Especially when they realize that's depleted uranium shells coming out of that sucker. And for those that are not in the know, depleted uranium will go through anything except depleted uranium. They're that hard. That being said, this is where on some science fiction, in particular on the X-Men, I have to laugh. Because the whole idea of putting even though it was a 44 Magnum, firing a adamantium bullet and going through Wolverine's skull like that, just know on so many, there's not enough power behind it. People have actually tested this on a steel on steel or depleted uranium versus depleted uranium plate. There isn't enough force. If there was enough force, it'd be like that old anime Wicked City, where when the guy fires it, there's enough force to send him about 10 feet backwards. You need to have the kinetic impact to pierce through. You can't just say, well, it's made from the same material. If that was true, then I could just take a simple butterfly knife made out of carbon steel and stab a carbon steel, dish pan, and it should go through. It doesn't, hold on. Nope, it doesn't pass the sniff test. Nope. So yeah, could I do that one? Sure. I've still got, guys, a lot of stuff that you guys recommended last week. It's still here. It's still here. I put it all down. It's all over the place. I don't lose my notes, folks. I don't throw them away anymore because I don't know when I'm going to need them. I did that before my first big series. I got rid of almost all my notes, and I'm regretting it still. That being said, you guys sent me a lot of good ideas, a lot of good stuff. So I'm working on it right now. I got the series to finish up, and then I can go into that. Let's see. Demon says, good old Wally World. It's a risk every time you buy anything. It's a risk walking in there nowadays. Dusty says, there was a bike shop in Smith Falls when I moved here, but the dedicated bike shop closed, and I'm stuck with Canadians. Okay. Well, I wouldn't go to Walmart, just as a personal opinion. Okay, jumping past all the super chats and super stickers. And I gotta stop saying that because that hurts. Worst number says, I saw that happening to Ava, that the railgun hit her, and he's got that big smile emoji going. Or emoticon. I shouldn't even say emoji. That's a kid's way of saying it. Let's see. Ava says, max range of the M777 is approximately 60 kilometers. An orbital strike needs to travel through around 300 kilometers of atmo and Earth. Yes, and the planet is moving. And there's a lot of other things moving at the same time, because you might actually just hit a bird, and that might just be enough to, alter projection or trajectory. And the thing is, with the M777, the 60 kilometers is with very specific ammunition. Very, very specific. I know because I had to double check the numbers to actually do one of the stories there, as in teaching the Xenos the KISS method, which is keep it simple, stupid. That's what I heard. And I keep trying to tell young folks that, and they're, oh no, it's got to be fancy, it's got to be glamorous. No, don't. If you got to insert a nail into a piece of wood, don't be fancy or glamorous. Just take the hammer and beat that son of a bitch down in there. Worst number gaming. I'm still unsure if that was my orbital railgun strike, Ava. I had that Strat Gem always with me. I'm guessing that's the type of railgun. I'm like I said, I don't even really get a chance to play. I'm amazed I actually got on tonight because I've been so busy. But if you got her, you do know she's gonna again drop on your head just for revenge. Ava says, note, I said the max range of the M777, not effective range. Yeah, that's right. Oh, thank you for bringing that up, Ava. There are two separate ranges to worry about. Max range is the absolute max the weapon can fire. However, max effective range means the maximum it can go and still strike its target and cause whatever damage you want. Just like the max effective range for 240 is, if I remember correct, it's several hundred. It's almost a kilometer. No, it's more than a kilometer's max range. But that's if you arc it and you're firing the rounds like this. The thing is, if you're firing like that, if you're on the receiving end, you're going to feel it hit you for sure, but it's not going to be any worse than a paintball. Mass effective range is enough where you can get rounds on target and they're actually going to go into the target and cause terminal ballistic damage. But you are absolutely 100% right, Ava, on that. 100%. That being said, it's still the max range. They do have very specific ammunition for the M777, and it is scary accurate at very long ranges. The only thing I don't like about the M777 is its stationary artillery. I prefer my artillery a bit mobile, like the I believe they call it the Archer system. Some folks over in Europe got it. It's basically a truck with a self-reloadable freaking artillery piece on the back. And I'm all about making sure things are mobile because counter batteries are a bitch, I'll tell you that. Lasser says, warthogs, the angels of the sky. That depends on which end of the gun you're on. They might be the devils of the sky if you hear the wah, and you look over and half your buddies are, pink mist. Eric again says, yes, it's like gem in a gemstone. Okay. Let me write that down. Gem. Okay. I wonder if you're all shiny too. War Sniper says, I snipe my targets from orbit. Well, you always want to aim maximum range, and that's kind of the point. That's why if you put the Halo universe versus the Star Wars universe, Star Wars always loses every time because the Halo guys are firing ballistic ammo. There's no range. If the other side is like, oh, they're out of range. Wait, we're seeing something coming toward us. Oh, it's probably just a rock. Zoink, clean through you, even though you had time to move. But those giant battleships they call destroyers, they're not moving all that fast. Now, granted, if they're nose to nose, yeah, the profile is a lot thinner, but you turn that sucker and it's just this giant pizza. And you're just going to cut right through that thing like it's not even there. War Sniper says, and I won't miss. Okay, why not? Brian's here. Brian, how's he doing? He's saying hi to everybody. War Sniper says, have you seen that with 300 kilogram bombs? Yeah. Okay. Oh, maximum. Oh, are you talking snipe through the chest or are you talking max range? You guys are seriously, you guys just gotta meet up. Anyway, Ava says, I have to work out how to make steel armor that can defeat uranium penetrator. The trick is to keep the armor flexible like scale armor. If it's draped like a curtain, it catches the round, but it still goes in. You're talking dragon skin. And that armor's been around for a long time. And a lot of us, believe me, we wanted it. We wanted it because it fucking works. We've seen guys take some seriously heavy punishment with those, and it knocked them off their feet for sure. And it's a little more, well, it's not much more bulky, but it's a little heavier. But I'll tell you what, I'll take some sore knees over being dead. But yes, that's exactly what it is. Now the thing is, a lot of the compared to the dragon skin or dragon scale, whatever the hell they would call it, back in, I think it was 2001 when that shit first came out, compared to now they're using carbonized nanofibers. And it does the same exact thing. And everybody here, I'm sure, has seen John Wick, where they're talking about his suit can stop bullets by basically catching them. There's no penetration, but it's going to hurt like a son of a bitch. Yeah, again, you get caught in the chest, it's still going to crack your sternum. You're going to be in some serious pain, but you're still breathing, provided it didn't actually hit you in the heart when your heart was trying to expand. If it hits you at that point, your heart is going to go into immediate shutdown, which is why whenever you see anybody do any type of MMA, they will tell you the heart punch is something not done. It is not done because if it's done wrong, it can be lethal. And sometimes you can do it exactly right. It's still lethal. So it was one of the first things they took out for Ultimate Fighter. Sorry, a bit thirsty. I got to move on to water now. Okay. The sir says, LN, the Missouri, they store weapons in limestone caves for years. Yeah, they do. Actually, in those limestone, they preserve a lot of stuff. That's like I was saying last week. They hold a lot of the original media, like the original Wizard of Oz is buried like 1.5 miles deep in the limestone caves, because those things will, I mean, it's soft, but they can take a hit. It's crazy. It also blocks a lot of radiation, which is kind of weird. I'm not sure exactly how that works. But yeah, the thing is, again, if you're talking a machine that was designed to have moving parts and it's static, you're still going to have to replace some pieces. Oh, don't worry about the misspelling. The caves in Kansas City, Missouri. Oh, there's caves all over the place. People don't realize how honeycombed pretty much every single country is at this point. The only places I know that aren't honeycombed is Australia and Africa. South America's got a whole bunch, but those are mostly just cave or mining caves. The U.S., most of Europe and Russia, North Korea especially, holy fucking shit. I mean, they're just honeycombed. And the thing is, we're just not allowed to know about it. Recently, we've been able to find out about them, but it is what it is. And again, that was one of the things I put in the story is, since we are digging ourselves deeper and deeper, we might know how to handle something like that, as in send a 5 or 6 ton tungsten rod down into an insectoid queen's cave from orbit and just fire a bunch of them and launch them, and they'll go real deep. I mean, come on, you just have to look at the J Dam when that was first made. Or not the J Dam. God damn it. Sorry guys, I just had a brain fart on that one. But there was a anti-bunker munition that sunk so deep it's still there. Nobody went and dug it out at all. But yeah, as it is what it is. Okay. Lena says, I would put a portable railgun system on a military helicopter. That'd be funny. Might work better than the 30 millimeter cannon on the Apache. That thing jams a lot. They never did get it fixed that I've ever heard of. When it works, it's devastating, though. Let's see. Ava says, Swedish Archer is a nasty piece of arty there. Yep. Okay. Thank you. Swedish Archer. I wasn't sure exactly who made it. And you're right. I've actually seen that thing in action. It is actually kind of spooky. They just kind of roll up and they're all in line. and all of a sudden they stop. The back end struts go down, the front end goes down, everything stabilizes. Next thing you know, it goes up, it extends out, and we're talking within seconds. Within like 30 seconds, that thing's already just firing like crazy. And we're sitting there watching the impact area, and it's pretty damn accurate. I mean, not quite as accurate as the M777, but pretty. Let's face it, it's artillery. You can be close, because you know what they say: only call artillery if you want to kill everything. Let's see. Brian Kemp says, Hunt Midwest, subtropical. Okay, you talking about the caves again. Yep. War Sniper says, apparently Ava was the biggest target on the field. What do you grow when you get more kills? What the hell's going on? I don't know. I don't play the game. War Sniper says, maybe squashing me too much. Yeah, well, they even the game designer says they put that in specifically so you guys could have funny, just friggin' fratriciding each other. Let's see. Lena says, I don't believe it. Frigates in Halo couldn't even handle a coalition of religious aliens. Galactic Empire would walk all over. Okay, you're talking two completely different tech levels for one. First off, the the armor on a lot of the Empire battleships was not designed for ballistic. It wasn't, which is why that one Star Destroyer that was going through the asteroid field exploded. Okay, they can deflect a bunch, but if it hits straight on, it's going through, and it's going to screw somebody up. Not to mention the ranges that they're talking about. Everything in Star Wars is at visual range. Do you have any idea how close that is? Insanely close. Our fighters, our in-atmosphere fighters, don't even fight that close. Everything's beyond visual range. When our fighters come in, as soon as they get a lock, they fire. But the thing is, if they're stealth rigged, the moment they fire, they put out a heat corona. Somebody knows where they are, and they're probably getting fired at. So they immediately dive down as a defensive measure. What they're trying to do is get the rocket to burn off the rocket engine to burn off all its propellant. Now, if you're the difference being here is if you're talking the Galactic Empire, and we're just talking ranges here, Galactic Empire versus the Covenant, you're talking a difference between somebody using guns and rockets, which is the Empire, compared to guided munitions, guided missiles from the Covenant, because those plasma would actually, there's a core in there, an actual torpedo. That's not doing the damage. The plasma is. It's dragging it along, but it's also targeting it. It's guided. It's throughout all the books. And it's most of the Covenant weapons are just, they would melt through everything. That's how they take things out, is they melt through, they vent everybody, and then if they hit the engine compartment, they cause it to overheat and go kablooey. So, and the thing is, if you're basing any of these off your own biases, you got to say the biases beforehand. That being said, I will say this. The Empire ships, there's a lot more of them than there was of the Human Alliance, or whatever the hell, UNSC, whatever the hell you want to call it, in the Halo universe. They could actually get in and get close. So in a full-on, I'm going to go toe-to-toe slug match here, let's see who fucks up each other's face faster, then if they can get close enough, it's just they're going to tear each other to pieces. That being said, on that one, the Empire does have a advantage because their turbo lasers fire a hell of a lot faster than the Covenant does. The Covenant weapons are absolutely devastating, but they take time to charge. They take time to fire. The Empire's lasers are ka-choom, 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 just like that Archer we were just talking about. So it really is, it's situational dependent on that. But if we're just going, starting at when the sensors find each other and they're moving in, the Covenant ship is going to just lay so much fire down. By the time the Star Destroyer or cruiser, whatever it is, even gets close, it's a flying hulk of turds. I mean, it's done. They've cooked it. It's time to be served. That's what it is. Okay. It says, perk of railgun rounds, they don't degrade, but explosives become less stable over time. That is true. Actually, they just had a scene in a show my dad likes. I walked in while he's watching it, and some lady dropping off some stuff her father brought back from World War II. Guy opens up, there's a claymore. Everyone's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So, she's like, what about the ones in my car? And you hear this explosion outside. I'm like, that's a brick of C4. First off, it doesn't just go off like that. Those things are incredibly stable. Two, if that many just blew up in the back of your car, there wouldn't be a wall in that building, for one. Okay, it's just crazy. But the thing is, if they're stored correctly, depending on which explosive, they will not degrade. C4 is one of those, it takes a long, long time for that to degrade. You get something like dynamite, shit. You get that to be anywhere in a warm, wet environment, it's going to start to swell and it's just going to explode just sitting there. It's honestly kind of scary. I've never liked working with dynamite. Somebody handed me a stick of it and I immediately went, yeah, you can have that. What, you don't like dynamite? I was like, nope. But you use grenades. Yep. Let's see. Ava also says, Beehive railgun round with seeking submunitions at Mach 20 sounds like a good time to me, as long as you're the one firing it, not the one on the receiving end. How you're actually going to put all those together, that'd be a trick and a half. Because Beehive rounds tend to disperse once they actually fire, just like the flechettes. I think that's what you were going for. Let's see. Worst numbers game. Ava, the railgun didn't hit you. You got hit by splash damage. And it was surprising. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. At least for a video game. Because honestly, at that speed, you're going to be looking at the same thing as a 50 cal. A 50 caliber bullet only has to get within about 8.5 inches of your body, and it is already causing damage because it's actually peeling the outer layer of skin off. It can actually pull blood to the surface because there's the void behind it, and it's literally sucking everything towards it. If it just grazes you, the amount of pressure going by, yeah. But if I'm standing there and a 50 cal round lands next to my feet, unless it ricochets and bounces up, it's a little dirt. That's the thing with railguns, is there's no actual splash damage from them. They don't actually explode. It's a large chunk. That being said, video games have their own physics, so it is what it is. Morris number said its red laser was a few meters in front of you. Okay. It's possible that she moved forward and got hit by it, dude. I wasn't there. I'm just doing the whole to be fair situation. Let's see. SS Demon in a broadside, I definitely give it to the Star Destroyer, but in long range, I'm going with Halo. They have AI support, yep, which helps them with aiming, very much so. And again, it's all about the range. A YouTube channel I used to like, they've kind of gone off by the wayside now, did a whole breakdown of basically saying, could UNSC beat Star Wars? And they put the different fleets together. It was always a UNSC victory because of the range that they were using. Not to mention they're used to, concentrating their fire on one ship, tearing it apart. And a lot of times, if you want to go by the actual lore of it, if you take out the command ship and the Empire, all the rest of them kind of like, now what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? It turns into those armies that literally focus from top down as far as command structure. And there's no initiative. Initiative frowned upon. But yeah, I'd say you're right when it comes really close, because that's what the Star Destroyers are designed for, is to be really close and pump out a shit ton of fire. Okay, but their range is garbage. Let's see. It says no splash. I've stood right next to the impact site. No damage in a direct hit. Okay, so So yeah, chances are the line was in front of you, Ava, and you walked into it as it was coming down. That's all I can say on that. From what you guys have given me, that's all I can say. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into any. Okay. Ava says average engage range for Star Wars was approximately 5,000 kilometers. Halo average engagement range was around 1 million kilometers. Yeah, a bit of a difference. And to close that gap, you better be on a full freaking burn, motherfucker, because that's a lot of closing. 5,000 kilometers is, as far as space is concerned, you're looking at almost point blank range at that point. That is seriously close. A lot of people don't understand how vast space is, which is why a lot of stories, you're talking fleets that can't even see each other. If you're watching the battle, you got to be way far away so you can see both of them firing, because they're so spread out. When I did Flying Bricks, when they went up to see the fight, and there's our lovely lady going, what the fuck? She's watching everything going on, but she's got to do this the whole time. Like, oh my God, what's going on? And they were way far away at that point. But yeah, when it comes down to it, range is everything. Because if you actually look at, and I forget who it was, they get on the simulators a lot, the flight simulators, and they see what they can do with guided munitions versus World War II. They had almost no guided munitions, unless you count pigeon guided munitions, which weren't really used anyway. And it's just beyond one-sided. Okay, Ava says common tactic of the UNSC is long-range hit and run engagement to chip down fleets over time. Yep, which is the best. Sorry, guys, I got a bug bite and it's driving me crazy. The best tactic, the most effective tactic ever created. Every species will know about it. Everyone will do it. Is the good old-fashioned ambush. Because guess what? If they can't respond, you got them. You got them. You got them. You got them. And okay, Mysteries Mercenary says, is it even possible to rig up C4? Of course it's possible. I used to do it all the time. You just need the right equipment to do it. It doesn't come in the kit. The kits I always worked with had the actual clacker. That's why you see guys going like this to fire them off, because sometimes that spring can be real tough. Not to mention you got the safety that sticks up, so you got to get that out of the way. That's why in the movie Platoon, the guy's sitting there, like, it's not working, it's not working. It's like, the safety's on. and he moved it, he hit it, and I don't remember if they put the sound in, but you'll hear it as the electric shock goes down the line to set the C4 off. But yeah, whenever you get the kit to set the tripwire up, the blasting cap is set on something else, and the tripwire is actually set up on a different. You know what? I'm talking in circles. Sorry, guys. Whew, hold on. I need a drink. It's hot in here, and I'm very dehydrated. Okay. The tripwire system, a lot of times you have to pre-order that, because everything's the same except for, instead of the clacker, you have the actual tripwire system. I hated working with those goddamn things because I kept thinking it was going to go off in my hands. Because as soon as you set up the tripwire, then you got to bring everything back and screw the blasting cap in. And I'm thinking, okay, this brick of C4 is going to go up, and the only thing they're going to find of me is my shoes. But yes, you can do that, because when the tripwire is actually sprung, it pops free, then it snaps, and that's what actually sends the electric shock down the line, and boom, there you go. Yeah, Ava says that's actually very easy. It is easy if you have the parts. Isaac said, "Can you make a story about an ancient titan that's mistaken as planet?" You talking Zeus? Ancient Titan class found. Okay. I'll get on that. Again, you guys send me a lot of good stuff. So once I'm done with the series, I got to get everything else done. But yeah, I'll see what I can do about that one. I don't do a lot of Titan class warfare because honestly, if you're working with that, some idiot's going to power it with a singularity like the fucking Romulans. What happens if that thing goes critical? You're going to cause a massive black hole and a supernova at the same time. And you're literally going to see what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. It's not pretty. You don't want to be anywhere in, not just a sector, you don't want to be in the same fucking galaxy as that shit. So, anyway, Lena says the only bias I could think of for the Empire side is Admiral Thrawn. Ha. Indeed, yes, he could. Because he overanalyzed everything that's happening on the battlefield. He would be a game changer. Absolutely. I'm not even a Star Wars fan anymore, and I know that dude, he's one of those guys you just don't want to go against. It's like, you know what? It's like trying to do a verbal fight with Steven Crowder or something when he's doing the change my mind stuff. You just don't do it. It'd be a bad idea because you're going to be, again, they're going to just say, here's your ass. There you go. And it's just going to be that quick too. But yeah, Admiral Thrawn, he knew how to deploy everything. He was the first one to actually use interdictor ships on the far sides and actually send them in with the first group so that he could figure out exactly where to bring the FTL right next to the planet or right next to the enemy fleet so he could bring in his big guns and medium and small guns and everything else in between at the same fucking time. And before anybody could say, oh shit, you're already getting turbo lasers up your nose and any other orifice they might shoot you with. But yeah. Jen is here. Good morning. Good morning to you, Jen. Ava says, an advantage isn't just on... Okay, I can't pronounce I think you want to say tacticians. Leonidas Thrawn. Is that his really first name? Leonidas? Really? Is one piece on the board. Remember, Val Thadam is the Halo equivalent of Thrawn, and he got his ass whooped. Yeah, true. Sorry, I heard something. I realized I got some bugs bouncing on my screen here. Surprised the crap on me. Anyways, yeah, nobody's infallible. Everybody can end up being messed up. That was the one scene in all of Rebels that actually worked, by the way, was when Thrawn had everybody dead to rights. And somebody's like, you know what? It may cost me, but I'm going to throw a wrench in these gears. And they flew their only carrier into the interdictor ship just to cause a inversion and blow it up, and then they could get away. And that's when Thrawn realized you always bring two. So the man learns from his mistakes, though, if he survives, because let's face it, space combat, you lose, you're probably dead. Okay, Mysteries Mercenary. You know I'm going to mess that up. Mysteries Mercenary. The pigeon bomb. Haha. Imagine getting done in by birds strapped to a 500 bill bomb. 500 bill bomb. That's funny. Okay, that you got me on that. You got me there, mystery. Oh, that was funny. But yeah, the thing is, I kind of wish they had done that just to show that it worked. And the thing is, every time they tried it, it worked wonderfully as far as training goes. They never actually put it in practice. But I honestly, could you imagine how one-sided it would be if they sent a flight to, say, Corsairs and Hellcats over towards where all the Japanese fleet was, and then all of a sudden just spread way out and then drop these suckers and let them glide their way in. And before anybody even responds, the Corsairs are taking off. The Hellcats wait maybe a minute, and then they turn around and leave because they're a hell of a lot faster. And then everyone's like, well, did it hit? Turn around, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 but everything's blowing up. And not a single loss on your side. Alan said, howdy, all. Howdy. And Ava's saying hi. Mysteries Mercenary. By any chance, have you taken a look at the Gundam universe and weapons that are shown in the shows and comics? Yeah, there's very few Gundam series that I actually enjoy. Main reason is because a lot of the stuff they show, it doesn't pass the sniff test, man. It doesn't. Sometimes it does. 8th MS team, they did a really good job. I got to admit, that's probably, as far as I'm concerned, that's probably the best they had. You had really goofy ones like Double X, which I'm sitting there like, okay, you have this incredibly powerful cannon, but you have to get charged from the moon. What? Yet you have your own internal engine that produces like 5 billion gigawatts a second, and you can't charge off of that. It didn't make sense. It made for an interesting show, and one of the best lines I've ever seen, once it gets translated, of course, where the guy's like, he finds the controller, and then he's trying to run away, and he jumps in the cockpit. He's like, oh my God, what do I do? There's no controller. Oh, wait, I found one. I'll tell you what, if this works, I'll believe in God. He slams it in, things starts turning on. It's like, and the girl he's rescuing wakes up. Guess what? I believe in God. She's like, what? That's just funny. That being said, a lot of the Gundam stuff, the reason I don't watch it and I have trouble enjoying it is because the physics don't work. Something that big hitting that hard, I don't care if it's made of Gundanium, which is supposedly so strong it makes depleted uranium look like butter. I'm sorry, but no, something that tough would be so heavy. I don't care what type of servos you're using, the damn thing's not going to move like that. It just, no, it didn't fly. And it's the little things in the stories that just did not work for me. The types of weapons they use, the guy with the big swords, okay, fine, but you got to be really good at dodging folks at that. The one they called heavy arms. I'm like, from the time he fires to the time he runs out of ammo is going to be like 3 seconds. He's literally going to be a 3-second chump. I'm done. And everyone's going to be saying like, well, I'm disappointed how quick you finished. You know, to me, they didn't work. People love what they enjoy what they enjoy. Don't let me stop you from enjoying what you enjoy. By all means, if you like them, go for it. They were so light on the specs and everything. You're just assuming that these work. Let's see. SS Demon says the bat bombs are scarier than the pigeon bombs. Absolutely. Especially if you're in a place that has a whole lot of flammable material, especially if your houses are made of wood. Let's see. Erica Glum says, not if you're Queen Olga. Who's Queen Olga? Are you sure you're not saying Elsa on that? Because my niece used to love that god-awful show. Ava says, story idea. Aliens learn what Verdun was like through trying to fight in a minefield. Ooh. Oh, I like that. Aliens on ground. Minefield. With a special here, Verdun. And I already did the whole. I like to use them a lot now that I figured out how to get them to work. But setting up a minefield in space, you hear that clang like 2 seconds before it blows a hole in your hull. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, great. Now we're venting atmosphere. Wonderful. Oh, wait, we've just shifted. We can't fire because we keep shifting from all these things blowing atmosphere out. Even if you do drain all the atmosphere out of that area, you don't know how deep these things are going to blow, if they're going to get through the outer hull. I haven't even touched on that one yet. What if the mines are ineffectual? What if they're too good? It is what it is. Let's see. Leonid, sorry, but no. Admiral Thrawn name was not something you want to pronounce. What was it? Cocksucker? I don't know. All right. Don't forget the bat boom. We didn't forget the bat boom. It made a big boom. And then it made a whole lot of, it's hot. Ah, my britches are on fire. Ah, it burns. As long as it don't burn when you pee, you're all set. Okay. Mysteries Mercenary. Yeah, a lot of the weapons in Gundam are really energy draining. Oh, I would assume so with those giant cannons, especially the one guy who has a one big cannon or the dual weapons. I'm like, why don't all of them have that? That is seriously effective. It doesn't make sense that they have up close and personal weapons. It's just, yeah. It's more science fantasy than hard science fiction, and I prefer hard science fiction. I prefer things like Babylon 5 over any of the Treks. Why? Because they used actual Newtonian physics most of the time. Sometimes they let that slide. But that actually helped make the story. It actually helped you connect to it too. Okay. Leonid, I think which from Mercury is pretty good. Modern Gun. I haven't seen it. I stopped watching Gundam. Shit. I don't even think I've watched since the 2000s. The early 2000s. Let's see. War Sniper says, I still want a story that aliens got baited into an asteroid field and the humans have set tanks and other weapons set on the asteroid and files alien fleet from every side. So basically you want the Clone Wars episode where they do that to Grievous' ass. Literally. They shoot him in the ass. Let me get asteroid ambush. Thanks. Okay. Hopefully people don't think it's too derivative when I make it. Okay, SS Demon says, I love heavy arms. I wish I still had heavy arms, but unfortunately I haven't been in the gym in a while. Let's see. War Sniper Scheming. I know it is from Star Wars. I just want to see a storyboard version of you, just your aliens and your humans, your universe. Okay, I can do that. I mean, it's not like we don't have, our own asteroid belt to work with. Erica says, Queen Olga of Kiev. I'm guessing that was meant to be one. She's one mean, badass woman. Take your word for it. I drawn a blank. Mysteries Mercenary. TBF. To be fair, if the hull of your ship is venting out air, at least you don't have to worry about fires. At first, no. The thing is, if it's venting the air, it's just like any other wind. So if you got a fire over here and you got the hole is over here, what it's going to do, at least for a few seconds, it's going to suck that flame across, and everything on the way towards the opening is going to friggin' just get cooked, at least for a few seconds. After that, once it loses enough oxygen, then it'll go out. If it start a fire afterwards, you're right. That is correct. Well, actually, yes or no, because depends on what you're venting and what you caught fire. Because let's face it, there's some flammable stuff that don't need oxygen to burn. It is what it is. Ava says, Olga the Great, the one person you never want to make her your enemy. There's a few people I don't want to make my enemy. Just like someone, or in some series, they're finding that out about humans. Let's see. Ernest Green says, when you use the mines, don't forget to do bouncing Betty mines. Oh, yeah. Thank you for the fact I probably won't be able to sleep tonight. Again, I don't like working with mines. They freak me out a lot. That being said, we had a lot of practice bouncing Betties. And believe it or not, that whole thing you see on video games where if you see it bounce up, you even hear the chink as it comes up because the spring actually goes off. You immediately just drop. I mean, it's like before you even say the word, you're literally going down as fast as gravity can pull you. And we had the paintball ones. By the way, you don't duck, you're eating a face full of paint. And if you're unlucky, it's going to grow up to only about maybe waist level, and you're going to be catching it right in the nuts. So you learn pretty quick to duck. Thankfully, most folks don't use bouncing betties anymore. They went out of style because they're difficult to deal with. They're difficult to set without setting them off. Not that they're super hard to set up. It's just if you're in a hurry, you're most likely you won't even hear the click. There is no click until it goes up. A lot of people say that. The ones we worked with, it was if you felt pressure on the bottom of your boot, you just freeze. And people would check. They'd shove a knife under there and sway to see if you're just stepping on a rock or anything like that. But yeah, those things those things suck. Oof. They're brutal. Lena says, holy crap. Yeah, I don't think I want to say Thrawn's first name. Mithron. Wow. I think what they were trying to do is say Mithril for the first part. And I don't know where the second part actually comes with. It says, oh, shit. Sorry, this thing jumped. The side effect of kinetics in space is recoil. Yes, absolutely. But it's a benefit, not a deterrent, if you can allow for rapid redirection while attacking. Yep. And which is why, again, when I did human battleships, they spun because that top turret is firing and actually causing them to spin. And they're not using the bottom turret as a counter battery. They're just letting it spin so they can bring up the next one and fire another volley. But yeah, if you can use it to your advantage, turn a negative into a positive, you are exactly right. Well, let's see if you find out there, Ava. I don't know. Demon says, I know you don't like Stargate. Well, I can't say that. The actors did a fantastic job. The premise of the Stargate, story-wise, fell apart for me. But it says, I know you don't like Stargate, but one of the things I really love about it is almost everything the humans use can be tied back to something they found earlier in the series, so you can actually, follow along and know where they got it and how they got there. A lot of series do that. Well, some series try to do that. They did try. They kind of stepped on their dick a few times. Again, they just wanted to have a new type of Star Trek and trying to put some actual science in their science fiction, but it didn't work. It didn't make any sense. A lot of things there didn't make sense. They wanted to make things either they wanted to make things too alien or they wanted to make them too human. But Sacred Cow Shipyards, he does a whole breakdown of their supposed capital ships and how much those suck. And I was laughing through the entire thing, and it was just he's right. And one thing he's definitely right about: what the fuck is the Air Force doing taking care of space? The Air Force inside an atmosphere it's in the name Air Force. Okay, you need submariners to actually operate your spaceships because they already know how to operate in that environment. And guess what? Your ships would be designed very similar. You wouldn't have things facing the way they do in that show. So I do appreciate them trying to put effort in, Demon. I really, really do. I appreciate when anybody tries to put the effort in. Somebody who's stealing, well, 69 giggity. Oh, I love Stargate. Hey, enjoy it. I'm not here to deliberately shit on anything you guys enjoy. I'm just giving you my honest take on it. Tekkaman Rage. I like the Expanse where they depressurize their own ship before combat. Yes, that is one way to stop it from jerking out of control. I mean, if you want your ship to sit there and jerk off every which way, then keep it pressurized by all means. But I'd rather it not spray all its internals all over the place when you don't want it to. I mean, that's just wrong. Yes, I know, guys, that was a double and triple entendre, but it is what it is. But the thing is, they didn't depressurize the entire ship. It depends on which ship you were on. I forget which channel did a whole breakdown on their ships, and it was, yeah, they did talk about that, which I thought was a really good idea. But their main capital ships, they never did that. Why? Because the amount of mass compared to the air coming out is going to, how do I put this? The adjustments on where you're going to be is negligible. You're talking a whole bunch of different mass and pressure and things like that. This is why I actually got in a very interesting conversation. I think I brought this up a few weeks ago, where somebody said they were talking about weight versus torque in space. And I was just like, what the fuck are you on? Because you got to be on some seriously heavy crack to think torque and all. No, it's mass and thrust. Okay, that's what you're dealing with. And thankfully, whoever he was working with was like, oh, yep, you're right. We double checked it. You're right. I'm like, yeah, I know I'm right. But there's not enough thrust coming out of the hole from that one shot or whatever is coming through to actually cause any mass to move. It's not, you know what I mean? Okay, sorry, talking in circles. Eric again, I hope you get the DNA testing for it. Oh, okay, yep. To be part of the queen or whatnot. Okay. Let's see. Ava says too far back. Its genealogy map has been sorting through. Yeah, genealogy is not. It can be off. It really depends. I mean, case in point, me and my brother both did the 23andMe. Now, yes, we are brothers. Don't worry, we had that checked. But come to find out, we don't have the same blood. As in, I have more of certain areas, and he's got one or two pieces over there that I don't have, and vice versa. So we're not identical twins that way. But that's the thing. You can actually see that some of the stuff they were talking about was right about our family history. I just didn't get that DNA in me. And if it is, it's so light that their whatever checks didn't pick it up. So let's see. Erica says, still cool. Need to get my genealogy stuff figured out. Okay. Lena says, I like early 22nd century Star Trekkie Trek ship designs with ballistic missiles that are designed to fire on a planet from orbit. They always have escort ships. Okay, I'm not too deep in the Trekkie Treks anymore. They lost me a long time ago just because they started going all basically hippie on me. And I was just like, I'm done. Just done. But yeah, it'd be nice if they got back more to the harder science fiction in Star Trek, but you know, it is what it is. Unfortunately, there's too much wokeism crap in there. I mean, come on, it was so bad. Star Trek got so bad that they actually had a series, Star Trek STD. Who the hell wants to touch that? Seriously. You know, Star Trek Discovery, you get it. It's just like, what I did, huh? Who thought this was a good idea? Whoever it is needs to be fired. I mean, seriously, what the hell's wrong with people? And the series was, I tried to watch it one time. I got about maybe 4 minutes into it, and I was just like, nope, 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 wave off, nope, nope, ceasefire, pop smoke, run for the tree line and jump that fence. Let's go. Ugh. It was just bad. It's just horrible. Let's see. Mysteries Mercenary. Better yet, you could do a trick the Japanese did in World War II. Okay, here where we go. Where they dig a deep hole, put a bomb, usually 250 pounds, and then cover it with dirt and put a mine on top of the bomb and cover the mine. Thank you, because that's how they blew up my truck, dude. Thank you. I'm gonna actually need a beer later. Yes, I did get hit with an IED. Yes, it did blow the ass end of my truck off. Yes, it did pop the wheels off like wine corks. And no, they didn't get anybody, but they did get one guy get shrapnel. My interpreter, his legs were tore up, and one guy got shrapnel placed about 2 millimeters from his spine. So, yeah. Would that work? Yeah, the Japanese did, and they did that to great effect. And just started thinking about stuff I've been through. That being said, you would wonder why you'd want to do that. What type of Xenos are you facing that you need a 250-pound bomb under there? Hold on. Let's stop. We got to stop. We got to hold up. Wait a minute. We got Ava dropping in a $10 super chat. She says, beers on me, Sin, $10. Okay. You already put one in here, Ava. So Ava got supporting squared. And you will get your shout outs here. I don't really drink much anymore. I kind of lost my taste for it. But I do have some of the Yingling downstairs for company, usually that brother of mine, because that's his. But I do appreciate it, Ava. As you know, all this that's being sent is to help ship out the T-shirts. Next week is the T-shirt giveaway. Do not try to ask me for T-shirts before then. All those emails will be deleted because, well, I don't do the whole, hurry up and do early. No, that don't fly. Okay, back to where I was there, mysteries. If you need 250 pounds of high explosive, I'm starting to wonder what the hell you're trying to kill. Because if it's something that big, I wouldn't be worrying about something exploding underneath. I'd be trying to get as many big ass cannons as I could get, because whatever it is big, strong, and needs to go bye-bye very, very quickly. Okay, Ava also says, before she dropped her $10 super chat, she says, Erica, being part of the original line of the Clark family sucks. For this, we show up everywhere throughout major history. For example, my great holy shit, great grandfather worked for the last Russian Tsar. Oh boy. Maybe the great grandfather was the one that saved whatever her name was who got out of there. Oh, by the way, that's another one that was tipped off. I'm starting to think the guy who wrote Battletech originally was Russian, because apparently the royal family from the Star League, one of them got away and is in hiding. Again, they take from history and they do a good job of it. Okay, look at any major event in history and the Clark is there somewhere. Well, it's not exactly an uncommon name there, Ava. You know, actually when the piece of shit that was my boss, the acting first sergeant in Korea, I never say his name because his name is very common, and I don't want anybody else caught up in the backblast of that shit. So it is what it is. If it was very unique, I wouldn't mind calling him out, because the dude was a piece of shit. Which is kind of weird, because when I got there, we had a first sergeant who was freaking awesome. Why is it the good ones leave as soon as you show up, or show up right after you leave? What the fuck? Oy. The whole time I was there, it's like, what the hell? couldn't we leave it with, if maybe one of these days he'll see this, percolate, Sergeant Major, percolate. He'll know what I'm talking about. He's probably going to laugh his ass off. But the one who took over after him, no. If North Korea attacked, I'd just be like, fuck it, give me my rifle, and you racist piece of shit can go away. Let's see. Lena says, I would believe it if the Discovery was set in the future because of how advanced their ships look. Yeah. Okay. Demon says, I always found it funny how the Japanese in World War II always claimed that they were such honorable warriors, but God, did they love their ambush warfare and traps. That is because they were almost exclusively on the defensive. And not to mention, they had to say honorable because they didn't want to say what that really means. Poorly equipped. Okay, the weapons they used were garbage. We're using semi-automatics, and they're using bolt-action, very long rifles that had been out of date since World War I. Those were surplus weapons they were using. They tried to take on tanks with horse-drawn howitzers, the little ones where the barrel's only about maybe this long. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. And they went, they're courageous and strong. Well, they better be. You leave them out there with no freaking support, no ammo half the time. They better be some ballsy motherfuckers. And the thing is, Demon, don't forget, once you get on the battlefield, you know as well as I do, all those honorable things or whatever, they go out the window. You do what you need to fucking win, because second place is a body bag. If you're lucky, because they might be burying you in a secrets box. There might not be enough left. Let's see. Mysteries Mercenary says the 250-pound bomb is less about being effective and more of sending a message. Well, it's going to send a message as it sends the guy flying through the fucking air. The thing is, depending on how deep it is, it wouldn't actually kill the person. It would just send them doing the whole, you okay? I'm good. Let's see. Lena, the jump drive plot hole is unbelievable with that Voyager has to go through. Okay. I think you're talking Trek Voyager. Trek Voyager, I hang my head in a little bit of shame. Yes, I watched it as a kid, but mainly because they put Jerry Ryan in a cat suit. I mean, let's face it, she was one spicy dish back in the day. Whatever partying she did is catching up to her bad, but she's still very attractive. But yeah, the plot hole about the different drives they were doing, but the thing is, looking back, I hate the whole series for one major reason. How in the hell could it be so new? It shouldn't, with all the battles it's in, shouldn't it have been battle scars all over the damn thing? They don't have enough power to build all these extra pieces. How do you do that? Oh, that's right. Plot wave offs. It says, no, it's not. But my family is very well traveled family. In the last roughly 300 years, we showed up in USA, Britain, France, Germany, Russia, and most of Europe. I've actually worked with a couple Clarks. It's spelled the same way. I knew one when I was stationed in Hawaii. Decent kid. We didn't talk much. We were in different squads. Kind of kept to himself. Another one I met was I was in Texas. Another one, well, he was someone I just seen. I knew one he was an E7 when I knew him, and I was E4. We were deployed. He was a tanker. So yeah, I've met a few. And yeah, it's that Clark with the E at the end. War Sniper says, Sin, can you set me up in one of your stories as a carrier commander? Okay. That's going to be interesting. War Sniper Carrier Commander. You know, I don't use a lot of carriers. Carriers in space combat are very, very niche. They're for attacking planets. They're not for actually sending out an ass ton of drones, because you can just pack those into any cargo hold of any ship. It's like the Rapid Dragon. You don't actually need a C-17. You could load those things up in a Chinook if you wanted to. Not that you actually want to, but yeah. Let's see. It says carrier commander in a Japanese style space drone carrier, and as an AI, it is a white hair 9-tail. Wow. Let me write all this down. I keep forgetting who is the fox lover on that. I almost put for Demon, when I give him a shout out, I almost put the Kitsune up. Let's see. Drone carrier. The AI. Onboard AI. What is it? White hair Kitsune. Well, I'm not going to use UNSC. Shinano. Okay. Should be no problem on that to do it, but I'll have to remember that next time I do something with carriers. Again, I don't use carriers all that often. Specifically for the reason why is, again, they're niche. They're not very well armed or armored. They're meant to spit out all sorts of stuff. But if you have any type of FTL drive, you can get close and just fuck a carrier up pretty easy. Let's see. Ava says Clark is a common name, but Clark with an E at the end is the last 2 centuries ago wasn't a common name. Okay, I'll buy that. Mysteries Mercenary, you want to talk about trash guns? Google Japanese Nambo. Oh, god damn. Did that thing ever work? That thing was just for show anyway. And most of the guys didn't even carry ammo in it. They were afraid the damn thing was going to blow up in their hand. Surrender gun. Might as well be. That's steer bar. Okay. Let's see. War Sniper. And the drones can use FTL and ambush enemy fleets. So basically, you're looking at a different type of the Galactica on that one. Ava says that a suicide drone snipes. Yeah, why not? Let's see. Leonid, would it be interesting to have a time slip ghost haunting sci-fi story with aliens? Time slip. I like that. Well, I haven't done a good time slip in a while. Usually with me, when I do time adjustments, where the hell was I? The one thing, Leonid, I've done time travel ones, and I actually understand how time works. And one of my professors was actually like, you should be in my physics class. Excuse me. Because, hold on. He said, you're not in my class, but you actually understand how physics works. You actually, because I showed up with a friend of mine. He's like, can you figure this out? I'm like, yeah. I helped him do a paper, and he scored really well on it. So he brought me in to talk to the professor. Anyway, I could do that. There's going to be a lot of interesting stuff. Now, it depends on which way the time slip is going, them to us, us to them, forward, back, or whichever it goes. There's so many different ways to do that. It's crazy. It's actually enough that just me thinking about it make my brain hurt. Okay, Worst Number says, my main... Oh, hold on. It jumped. My main ship, I still can subscribe because I'm not having software for it. Okay, dude, either you messed up typing or something's off, because that didn't make much sense. Okay. Mysteries Mercenary. The funny thing about the Japanese is I think half of the suicide thing they did, they weren't even high on meth or drunk. They were about, that's actually true. Before they got in their aircraft, they did a shot of sake, but that's about all they had. Which is why if you ever watch Godzilla -1, what happened with the pilot in the beginning, that makes perfect sense to me. I'm not going to ruin the movie because it's a really good movie. It really captured the essence of the way Godzilla used to be, at least the movies used to be. But it's designed a little different, and it's just really well done. The thing about that is the Japanese themselves were basically brainwashed and waxed at that point, and honestly, the suicidal runs were an act of desperation. Now, don't get me wrong, everybody else did suicidal runs, but usually that was, I need to accomplish this mission. I've either my munitions won't deploy, or my guns don't work, or I'm going down anyway, so fuck it, which is two words you don't want any human to ever say because bad shit's going to happen to whoever's on the receiving end of that. Oddly enough, I made that story of things you don't want to hear from humans. One of it was the sound of a shotgun. The other one was them saying, fuck it. Come to find out, somebody had made a story very similar to that. It's like, whatever you do, don't tell the humans. But if you hear this phrase from them, but instead of fuck it, it's, fuck it. If they say that, bad shit's about to happen. But it's true. But yeah, that was more desperation from the high command because they just didn't have the cojones to go out there. It's really, again, that's a top-down class system. They are all doomed to fail. When I worked with the Brits, they were saying how they hate working with a lot of their officers because the officers, a lot of them still believe in that bullshit. It's what they're brought up to think. Oh, I'm from a rich family. That just makes me better than everybody else. So they will do everything for me. I'm like, listen to me, you narcissistic fuckwad. That's not how it works. How about you get down here with the grunts and then try to give orders? You try to give that type of order, you're going to end up getting a bayonet up your bunghole. All right, let's see. Ava Clark, if I'm going to be a story, send make me a main gunner on a destroyer with between a system FTL railgun. Okay. Ava. Main gunner. Okay. I'm just going to put here big or main gun. Whichever that might be. Okay. Ava also says, my crew is me and me alone. Oh, crap. Oh, so you're cyberjacked. We're going to plug into your brain. Everybody says that's such a bad thing. Any technology is a double-edged sword. But the thing is, if you don't want to risk it, you'll never get the bonuses. Pure and simple. It was as straddling a big gun sounds like the pick for. And I thought I was doing double entendres. You win. Ava also says FTL Drive IRL is officially online. We now need to build it and power it. I don't know what the FTL Drive IRL is. You're going to have to go into Discord with that one probably. Worst Number says, I don't know about the Galactica, only seen small bits of it. Well, the Galactica is a small carrier, but it does carry some big guns. It tries to skirt the line between battleship and carrier, but most of its fighting is done with its flight wings of Vipers. The only thing the cannons are mainly used for is defense. They're not really used for offense. Let's see. Sounds a lot like AZ Shinano. I don't know. Is that Arizona Shinano or Alabama? It's based on the Imperial Japanese Navy Shinano and the sister hull of the Yamato class. Okay. Sister hull, not the sister ship. There was only one other sister ship from the Yamato was the God damn it. I just had a brain fart. Musashi. No, it wasn't not the Musashi. God damn it. No, it was. God, sorry, guys. My brain is beyond cooked. Okay. War Sniper says it's also a carrier. It got sunk by a U-boat. Yeah, a lot of them did. The biggest carrier ever created was actually sunk by a U-boat, but it wasn't a direct shot that took it down. In fact, it was somebody not knowing exactly what to do. It was a young LT or whoever it was the officers, and he was doing what he thought was right, and he was following the whole guideline. It's not always knowing what to do, it's doing what you know. And he did what he knew because his training was dog shit. And when the torpedo struck the aviation fuel tanks, the place was just filling up in the back end with fuel. And the fumes were so thick, it was actually putting guys out of commission within a minute. So what did he do? He's like, okay, we got to vent this crap and get it out of here. So he opened up all the doors, all the hatches. Well, what happens? All those fumes are just going to go wherever they want to go. And it only takes one spark. And a few hours after the torpedo hit, the freaking U-boat, whichever one it was already, or submarine, whatever, was already gone. And they just saw a huge explosion. The top of the ship pretty much blew off. And this is a gigantic flat top. It was so big and so heavy, it actually set much farther into the water than it was supposed to, because they put so much armor on it, because somebody with stars and bars decided to go, you know what would be a good idea? Well, hold on. Let me grab that good idea ferry, and I'm going to fucking kill that little bastard. You know, there's a reason we call it the good idea ferry. So anyway, Azur Lane Shino is a very similar design to what. Okay, yep. Rage says there's a lot of human say whoop stories out there. Yeah, there is. I put my hand in that one, and right in the cookie jar, there was a lot of hands in that one. I didn't. That one, when I made mine, I didn't do as good a job as I wanted to, guys. I'll admit. Okay, War Sniper Games says, I want to find out a way to get in, out of the sea and restore it. So heavy devoted. Oh, okay. You want to get the ship up to the surface, fill it with ping pong balls. Believe it or not, that if the hull will handle the stress, that will work. It's an old trick, but it still works. Demon says, -1 is one of my favorite Godzilla movies ever. Yeah, it was really good. They did such a good job. They also read it back to the black and white. Looks so good that way. Yep. Yeah, it was just, I got, if I was wearing a hat, I'd hats off to them, because they did such a good job to that. Mystery saying, really? You think modern day combat would make top down non-existent by now? It's so ingrained now. And especially with so many different branches, so many different corps, so many different positions and stuff like that. You've got some guys that, and you find this a lot, and I'm just going to use the American military right now. You get these rich ball jugglers who go to West Point. When they go to West Point, they're told they will be called sir or ma'am. They haven't been commissioned yet. They won't be commissioned for years. They will be called sir or ma'am the entire time, which is bullshit. They are either Mr., Mrs., or cadet. When I trained West Point cadets during the summer months when I was with 10th Mountain, specifically, I called them cadet, and they would get in my face. You will call me sir. I'm like, you're not a commissioned. I will not call you that. I'll get back in formation, cadet. And they just kind of looked at us. Why would you call me cadet? Because you haven't got any rank. You hold the same rank as a trainee in basic training. So fuck yourself and get back in formation. If not, everybody here is going to get smoked when we get back. They didn't believe me until I just started yelling, front line arrest position, move, all of you. Oh, you don't want to move? Hold on. Let me speed dial your chain of command. And what happens, they go through this where they don't get someone like me. They've just been told they're special the whole time. And then they end up in some office in the fucking Pentagon. And then they end up in command of a battalion or brigade so they can get their time. And they only got the position because they're well connected. And then they come up with some of the stupidest shit you've ever seen. Oh my God, my ROE changed to something so ridiculous that when I told people back here what was going on, they looked at me and go, no, that's impossible. And you want to see top down stuff, you go to other countries, top down, especially in, I don't want to say third world. Shit, how do I put this? Any country with a class-based system, okay, whether it be on ethnics or religion or what have you, it's usually based off who slid out of whose hairy ass. Just, and it won't go away until you just kill everybody. Because even when they rebuild it, that's exactly what they want. The rich people want special treatment, and they want their kids to have special treatment. So they'll rebuild the top-down system again, and everything gets all fucked up, and then they get their ass kicked again. Okay, that's enough of that. Okay, War Sniper says, it is the Azur Lane Shinono in the story. Shinono-chan is our child. Oh, how sweet. Lena said torpedo boats would make more damage to the enemy's expensive ships than a suicide plane ever will. Absolutely. But in World War II, nobody but the Germans understood the damage that a freedom pirate could do. Now the Russians, they saw how effective ours was, and they built their own stuff, but they weren't really used in mass like ours were. Ours were scary effective because let's face it, you get guys out there and you say, I want you to do this mission. I don't care how you do it, get it done. Yes, sir. They will do everything they can to outfit themselves with the most lethal munitions, the fastest boat. They don't care if they got to have nitrous tanks the size of Godzilla's dick. They are going to friggin' get it done. And it's the crazy stuff they did. They put on autocannons, howitzers, rocket launchers, all sorts of crazy stuff on there. And you're right, they were so much more effective. And when they didn't want to be hit, they were not hit. They would just swerve like crazy. You didn't even have to get in range of a Boffer before you launch your torpedoes. And if it's a big ship, you can't get out of the way of that. I will say the American torpedoes, until it finally was shown directly to the chain of command, they actually broke the laws of physics. You know that? They broke the laws of physics by sucking and blowing at the same time. And then they tried to blame the captains of the ships, of the submarines and everything. They're like, no, your torpedoes suck, dude. But, money talks on it. Okay. Ava Clark said, if you want a rough idea what space combat is like for ship space battle, Battleship Yamamoto has some good points. Fighters are used as supporting elements, i.e. sensor nets and a scouting and screening. Yes, because fighters in space combat is, I hate to say it, but almost ridiculous. Drone swarms would work, but just because you can just overrun their defenses with numbers. Sometimes it's not about quality, it's about quantity. And it is what it is on that. But yes, most fighters would simply be scouts, going out there, and they're just full of ISR equipment, and the rest is just a cockpit and a big ass engine to get you the hell out of there when you got to go, and preferably stealth rigged. See, Ava also says, and the main gun of the fight ender, not a primary weapon. Well, yeah. Yes and no. If you're going to build a fixed weapon in there, and it's going to be that strong as they did in Battleship Yamamoto, it's going to be the first thing you use, because you're going to want to break the enemy's will or fuck their faces up so bad they won't be able to fight you. See, Lena says, I remember the Adama maneuver from BSG show. It was pretty cool. Yeah, it looked cool. I look at that as one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever seen in my life. A reason being is because you can already send these things in FTL, okay? You don't have to be inside the atmosphere to do this. Now, if you're trying to use the FTL to actually destroy everything around you because of the slips, the blink drive that you're using, which what they were using was actually a blink drive, because basically you blink and it's gone. There's going to be a void there. It's not going to burst out. It's going to suck in. But that's enough where if you're close enough to the surface, yeah, it's going to be effective. That being said, destroying your fucking ship in the process is not a way to do victory. Because in all honesty, if you are going that hot, I mean, they're burning red and white hot by the time they got all their Vipers out, and then you blink drive yourself up into space, you're not going to be able to cool down. Your ship is basically a liquid at that point. If you take one hit, it's going to go to pieces. But then again, it's not hard science fiction. It's more science fantasy. They wanted to have that whole famous thing, but they neglected a lot of details. Ava says, secondary weapons are primary weapons in a slug match. All weapons are primary weapons in a slug match. It just depends on your range, really. For those that don't understand the phrase slug match, as far as space combat's concerned, it's standoff distances with large fleets, and you're just trying to spray as much ordnance through the vacuum of space as possible to take down the enemy fleet. And you're going to be taking some hits in the process, hoping that you put more out and hit them more accurately than they hit you. Usually this is done with ships that can actually take a few hits. If your ship can't take hits, you don't want to do that. You want to be a sneaky motherfucker. But if you can get point blank, every weapon's a slug match weapon. See, Ava says, modern combat has 3 primary elements: the strategist for long-term plans, the tactician for short-term plan, and the area troops and commanders for immediate reactions, and the local effects top-down. And it's just, well, you can't say the words, it will be blocked. But for the most part, yeah. Now, the thing is, it doesn't mean you have to have different groups for this. Everybody has to work together. In all honesty, I've been in meetings where we're working on tactics, and first thing I do is I go into the logistics, because everyone knows professionals deal in logistics, amateurs talk tactics. That being said, they had already figured out the logistics, so we didn't have to worry about that. But I brought up something where if we did this one thing the way they wanted to, I'm not going to say exactly what we did because we might be working in classified territory, hint, hint, wink, wink. I was like, if we do it this way, later down the road, we're going to have some serious problems. And they looked at it, they're like, are you sure? And I explained my position. Oh, okay. So we're basically going to move the element to this other spot. Problem fucking solved. Okay. Mystery says, the worst thing you can tell an American soldier or humans in general is to be creative. Yeah, I don't care how you get it done. Just get it done. Okay. It's it falls under the whole phrase we used to use a long time ago. Well, not even that long ago. It's like, I'll get the job done. Just don't ask me how I got it done. Or if somebody starts asking questions, you always got the, don't worry about it. And they would always do it that way. I did it that way. So don't worry about it. Just done asking questions. Ava says, so true. Worked wonders in my army, though. Worst number says, right now I see it like this. Better to be in love with a woman that does not exist, but a loyal woman to you, when be in love with a woman that is not loyal and steals your money, dog, and child. Ouch, dude. Ouch. Yeah. Yeah. I'm guessing you're a watcher of the Terrence Pop at Redonkulous. Somebody who's been through that. I recommend listening to him. He's been through it. He's been there. He's done that. I have not been through it because I couldn't get a woman drunk enough to even go out with me, let alone marry me. That being said, I've had to deal with a lot of this crap, and yeah, not so fun. Yeah, point made. That's all I could say on that. Point made. War Sniper Gaming says Yamato, not Yamamoto. That was the head commander of Japanese. Yep. I'm trying to remember his actual. See, you got to remember when Hirohito Yamamoto, if I remember correctly, and he was actually the one that says we don't want to invade the U.S. because there'd be a rifle behind every blade of grass, which is true. But in any case, yeah, it's important to get those two separate. Okay. Mercenary says slug match. So you mean a good old fashioned broadside? Sort of. You're just not close. If you're that close, it's actually considered what's known as a knife fight because you're at point blank range. And at that point, all your turrets are just whipping back and forth trying to hit something. You're not actually aiming at just one ship because you're in a 3-dimensional environment. 4 if you really want to push it. And again, you're trying to hit so many targets while trying to stay alive at the same time. So many people are in their minds, and this is not a shot to anybody because I fell into this myself. One thing you got to be careful of is you got to work in 3 dimensions. Don't forget top and bottom. Okay, things can be over top of your head and you might not even realize it. In Star Wars, everything comes in level because now they wave that away as the space lanes or hyperspace lanes or however that's supposed to be. And that's how they are able to justify that. Okay, it's science fantasy. I'll just give it to them. That being said, if you're talking actual physics, I mean, you might be out there at lunar orbit and somebody might jump in at the nadir point of your star or the planet itself, and then you're like, oh shit, I'm way out of position. And when you're that far out, all you're trying to do is get in a position where the planet, the moon, or moons, or however it is not in your way, and you're just going to start wailing towards them. But if they decide to jump in like real close, especially if we're talking fleets, that's a knife fight. Think of that. I think the show was Firefly, where they actually tricked the space zombies into following them in, and everybody just started blasting each other at point blank range. And the guy's like, target the Reavers, somebody fire! And everybody just starts shooting away. That was a knife fight. Okay. War Sniper said, even funny enough, he didn't die in his ship, but yep, that's true. His escorts honestly didn't even realize what was going on until his plane was hit. It is what it is. Demon says, spoilers for BSG. It made me so mad they sacrificed the Pegasus and not the Galactica. It should have been the other way around. Absolutely. One could build Vipers and train them and was newer and not falling apart. The other one was a museum ship reactivated and falling to pieces around them, being held together with little bits of wire and good intentions. I know everybody has made that same point. The Pegasus was such a better ship all around. No matter what matrix you looked at it, it was just a better ship, pure and simple. And they just pissed it away. Now, don't get me wrong. It went out in a motherfucking blaze of glory, taking out several of the base stars, even though that in the long run, that means absolutely dick to the Cylons, because until you take out their ship that actually holds their core consciousness, it doesn't mean nothing to them. That's the only thing that they need to protect. And honestly, I'd have that thing buried so deep in Cylon space if I was them, nobody could get close. Now, the thing is, don't get me wrong, you could do some serious damage with a museum piece. It is what it is. Okay. Ava says, well, I'm out. Good luck. Have fun. I'll be on Discord. And Demon's saying, bye. Happy birthday. Bye. Everyone's saying bye. Bye-bye. 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 Lena says, Legends of Galactic Heroes did that thing where the third faction sells weapons to both sides. Yeah. I've actually done that, and I forget, it was only one of my stories where The humans stayed out of the conflict, and they're just like, yeah, we're just going to sell weapons and medical stuff to both sides, and everything's good. They would change it a little bit so you wouldn't be like, hey, you got human equipment too. Where'd you get it? So, but yeah, that's pretty much what you're going to be, especially if you both the people fighting are your allies. Why the hell would you pick sides? Doesn't make sense. I forget exactly which story I did where the humans basically said, when they're like, you have to join a side. And they said, nope, we're not joining a side. You guys can kill each other out there. We don't give a fuck. So anyway, I don't see too much else in the chat box right now. And we've been going on for 2 hours and 20 minutes. So I very much appreciate everybody showing up tonight on Syntax Live. And I will see you all next week. For right now, quick safety brief. Just remember it's springtime, okay? All the birds, all the critters, even the four-legged ones with antlers are going to be having their kids around. So if you see one of the adults, please, for the love of God, slow your damn car down, because even the small ones are going to cause damage. You don't need any of that crap, okay? Save it for hunting season. Let them fatten up. Aside from that, make sure if you drink, you don't drive. You drive, you don't drink. If your little soldier is going into a Xeno, make sure he wears his poncho. And let's see, what's this? War Sniper Game says, look to the Missouri in the movie Battleship, and it frightened the aliens. Well, it didn't frighten them. It sure fucked their faces up good. Anyway, everybody take care of yourselves, and I will see you next week right here, same Syntax time, same Syntax channel. Take care of yourselves. This is Syntax ejecting.